it's time to go.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
That's fine. I have white privilege.
Oh, white privilege, okay. People are triggered. Got it. This week, Gay Jared and I are outside of the Grand Rapids Feminist Film Festival. I've never seen so many super outbacks where they will be having breakout panels on rape culture, nerd culture, LGBTQAI, and a silent number 5. I don't quite know what it means, but we're gonna figure out what all of this is about. And I think, hopefully, break down some of our own barriers and prove once and for all that not all feminists are fat, unattractive, boy-cutted, androgynous amoebas. Oh my God.
She's a lesbian! A lesbian! A lesbian! Son of a bitch!
Now there was a definitive theme to the event. See if you can catch it.
Full beard, and it was like the subject of a lot of controversy.
Oh yeah, they named her Wolf Girl.
Oh, that's awful.
Especially with all the bad press you guys have been getting lately. Geez, that's gotta be tough.
Yep, national and international artists.
Oh.
Frankly, I think people who are like ultra billionaires aren't right in their head. I think they got something wrong in their head.
So is it kind of like a bisexual, biracial, kind of aquatic Freddie Mercury? How does that one mesh with the Black Lives Matter movement? Do you think they might be a little iffy?
It's hard to say.
I might put it away when they come in. Do you think maybe there's anyone who could be a feminist, maybe here, maybe isn't a billionaire, maybe is like a geologist or a scientist
Geologists and
who might just
scientists
disagree with you?
Well, no, none of the geologists
None.
disagree. None.
Okay.
None.
Are you going to be talking at all about like Gamergate? I know it's a big controversy this year.
It's a really interesting thing. It's like the whole freedom of speech journalism thing. It's basically just a disguised way of saying we don't want females involved in what we do.
Really? So is that supposed to be Jesus menstruating? Okay. Yeah, a lot of the anti-Christian stuff. One religion that sort of has the corner on persecution of women was notably absent.
Coming from a very conservative household where
Like an
it's kind of
Islamic
hard for her,
household?
to be accepted.
Is this about Islamic oppression of women?
She's one of the best superhero characters to come around.
And she's Iranian? Or no, do you know if you have any panels on like Islamic oppression of women?
No, I would.
So there are a lot of bathroom signs, which I think were designed to clarify, but actually they acted as kind of a trigger to more confusion.
Last year we had completely just gender-neutral bathrooms, and we actually consulted with the trans community, and they said actually to protect feminine identifying people and trans women, they would prefer to have feminine identified, masculine identified, and then also a gender-neutral restroom. So we made that change this year.
Okay, so you have all three.
Yep.
At that point. And that's a change from last year?
It is.
So many crappers! At least one community's ecstatic.
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame.
What was that?
Listening.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
That's fine. I have white privilege.
Oh, white privilege, okay. Seems like it's kind of assumed you buy into an entire ideology to be here. I mean, when you have, menstruating Christ and was busy worshiping, the devil and becoming a lesbian. It seems to me that body shaming and Black Lives Matter, one of their founders was a white guy, Sean King, who used it to make money. It seems
Sean
like
King is not white.
Sean King is white. Sean King is absolutely white.
A little bit incendiary, so I think
I'm incendiary. Is this not incendiary? Saying Sean King is white when he's white is incendiary. Christ menstruating with tits isn't incendiary.
Stir stuff up a little bit.
I'm here to ask questions, and it seems like you guys aren't very open to them.
15 minutes of your question.
Okay, you don't have to answer any more questions. But if you ask people to leave because they ask questions, when they're not being loud, when they're not being obtrusive, when they respect your rules, it sounds to me like you don't really want an open discussion. Why do you come in and it's anti-fracking and it's anti-Christian and it's menstruating Christ?
There are plenty of spaces where those people are welcome.
There has been concern expressed again about the filming happening because some people.
Feel triggered?
Do you want to listen or do you want to interrupt? Because I don't talk to people who are going to interrupt. Okay? So.
May I do the thinking, please? Thank you.
Well, you put on a trigger warning that you're going to talk about alcohol. Why not that Jesus Christ with a pair of fake tits is going to be menstruating?
Because the people who are at this event are people who want
like
to
Jesus
see that.
Christ and fake tits who are menstruating? Seems like a niche market to assume that everyone here would want to see that.
Okay, well, I think that it's time to go
Okay.
because it's just
Okay, so
owner of the space is asked.
people are triggered. Got it. Noticeable trend out there was just think of it as a whining feminist. A lot of literature that was passed out. We were kicked out. We'll get to that in a second. So we have the schedule, Bernie Sanders pamphlet, the Grand Rapids Feminist press, handwritten, and then the body image and sizeism. I don't know what transgenderism and being fat has to do with feminism, but let's get to it. So right away we have, I am fat and have never been sexier in my life. Well, I'm glad you declare it. So fat people need love too. Hairy legs, hairy pits, fat poetry, fat poetry, fat poetry. Oh God, that's a supermodel right there. Self-anointed, mind you. And you can't fat shame her. But you better pay for healthcare, Bernie Sanders. Oh, I get it. With so many statements, because there's a woman wrapped in the American flag, so that's sort of a duality of, am I proud to be American because I want the cheeseburger, which is distinctly American, and I'm certainly contributing to the obesity epidemic, which is distinctly American, but I hate patriarchy, which is distinctly American. So what do? I'll probably just bitch about it on a panel while eating a cheeseburger, getting fatter, and demanding that everyone else pay for my health care. I hate these people so much. Okay, look at this picture, for example. This is everything that's wrong with feminism. It says, I don't wake up every day and love myself. I have bad days, horrible days. When all I want to do is go to bed. Radical self-love is a daily fight. No, it's not, and you shouldn't radically love yourself. You should accept yourself, but you should want to improve yourself. What do you think someone who maybe suffers from serious depression, or maybe is dealing with the death of a family member, or maybe has serious issues to deal with, feels when they read you talking about how some days all I want to do is go to bed because of my cankles? Okay, maybe you have big joints, but the diabetes is your choice. Struggles of a fat genderqueer person. Her words, not mine. His, her, Z's words. I don't know what the hell it's supposed to be anymore. As much as I love myself, it's really hard in this day and age, considering that according to society, I'm lazy, gross, repulsive, insatiable, grotesque, enormous, whale-like, zaftig, lumpy, scary, smelly, unhealthy, obese. Okay, did you notice something right here? This is what feminism does. They try and feather things in there. It's not really about women's rights. It's about transgenderism. It's about LGBTQAI and a silent extra Q. It's about abortion. It's about fracking. Fat, lazy, whale-like, lumpy, scary, smelly, unhealthy. Smelly! Okay, Thug Fresh Moreno. You feathered smelly in there. That's just another example of a choice. All these other things, okay, whale-like, from this picture, okay, you're hairy. You're hairier than a whale. You ever been whale watching? It's a disservice to whales. You ever rub your hand on a beluga? It's very nice and smooth. That's a beautiful, you're hairy and you're more like a wild boar. Don't compare yourself to a whale. They're beautiful. People pay to watch whales. People would pay you to no longer write. But you add smelly. No one is oppressing you through patriarchal scent domination. No one's demanding that you submit to not showering. That's your choice. And you're going to blame it on society? Here's the thing. You have the right, absolutely, to be smelly. Employers have the right to not employ you. I couldn't write a sketch, okay, a video like this without you here in the YouTube comment section or Louder with Crowder, wherever you're reading this, accusing me of building up straw men. I couldn't write it any more absurd. These women, these feminists, are the absolute weakest among women. And I say this as someone who's married to a very strong woman. They can't handle content that might be upsetting. They need to be warned. They need to demand legislation. They need to make up terms like microaggression. They need to kick people out who ask very polite questions that may possibly disagree with them. We're not running that. These women demand that you don't say anything that they don't like, don't show anything that they don't like, don't request that they adhere to those same standards, free abortion anytime, on demand, make sure that you find them attractive and praise them for being fat, lazy, whale-like, and smelly according to their own words, and then demand that you foot the bill for their health care, for their college, for their public welfare. They're not responsible for their own finances, for their own health, or even how they feel about themselves. You are demanded to not only approve, tolerate, but praise them for it. It's cultural Marxism to a T, and here's the reason most men are rejecting it. Here's something you're forgetting, feminists. Men don't get to choose our biology either. If you choose to be fat, smelly, with a pumpkin pie boy haircut, men won't find you attractive.
Come on, give me that booze, you little pumpkin pie haircutted freak. Come on.
It's the biggest irony that feminists want to claim female empowerment, yet they are so weak that they demand legislation and cultural censorship in order to protect them. That's why people have a problem with it.